Welcome to Living Life and Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. This is a global vitiligo awareness and education podcast. You will hear the true and authentic stories from people living with vitiligo. You'll also hear from their loved ones, medical professionals, licensed mental health therapists, relationship counselors, global vitiligo support foundations and organizations, community leaders, and so much more. Sit back and enjoy Living Life and Love. Once again, I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. Welcome to Living Life and Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. So on my show today, I have Jessica. So welcome to the show, Jessica.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad you're here. And we're going to talk a little bit about vitiligo, your vitiligo journey, and maybe a few other things. So before we get started, I always ask my guests to officially introduce themselves and share anything that you want to share, then we'll get into our discussion.
Okay, so I'm Jessica. I am originally from the Bronx. I've been in Raleigh, North Carolina since 2007. Mother of three. I have two businesses and I work full time.
Absolutely. And we'll get into some of that, maybe a little bit about your business.
Okay.
We don't have to get into a lot of details, but anything you want to share, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So as we know, this is a vitiligo podcast. So for some people, I have not recorded in over a month because, life, things happen, you get busy, family. So I am officially back and I will start doing more podcasts. So we're going to talk about your vitiligo journey. And along the way, I'll share a few things as well. So when did your vitiligo start and what were your thoughts as it was happening? I'm going to add on. And did you know about vitiligo before then?
Okay. So I did not know much about vitiligo prior to, but the first incident I had was in 2010. And under this eye, it started turning white and I was working in the hospital and one of the nurses said, hey, you might want to get that checked out. It didn't bother me. It didn't hurt. So I wasn't sure why it was happening, but I finally went. And at that time, the dermatologist said I had something called hypopigmentation. So I wasn't diagnosed with vitiligo. She gave me some cream and it seemed to go away. When I think about what my life was like then, it wasn't too stressful. I was very young in my early 20s, working on getting into the career field I wanted to be in. And so I feel like my stress levels wasn't too high then. And I wonder, as I got older, I realized stress can contribute to vitiligo. I'm not too sure,
Right.
but so the cream, it went away and it never came back until about 3 or 4 years ago. And it's primarily on my face.
Well, we'll get to your emotions. Let me share something too. Mine started when I was in my 20s. And like you said, like living life and enjoying life in your 20s and next, but for me, it didn't start on my face. It started on my hands.
Okay.
And primarily vitiligo is all over except it's just finally starting on my face. So it's been a slow process, but that's been since 1996. So It is different for every person. Now, I didn't know much about it, but I knew someone with vitiligo, but I didn't know what to call it. I didn't know what to say. I just knew this person's skin looks different. And then even when I went to college, I met somebody who had vitiligo also. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what this is, but I see it. But now now I know more about it by doing research and being connected to different organizations.
Okay.
So yeah, it is. They do say it's stress induced, but also could be hereditary. There's a number of things they say, but we don't have a definite answer.
Right.
But let's talk about how over time, as you've seen it spread, how did it make you feel?
It took a toll on my self-esteem, I would say, because for one, I didn't know what was causing it. I will admit that I'm not that educated about it. It doesn't hurt. It's not peeling, so at this point, I exist with it. But initially, because I've never been a makeup girl, I've always had nice glowy skin, and then I started turning, white, and I looked pale, and I just didn't know how to accept it. And not just that, but the stares that you get when you're in the
Right.
street. So now I don't get them as much because, when I look like this, you can't really see. But
Right.
when it started happening, it was like patches, and my entire face is similar to what your hands look like. And I just didn't know how to accept it, and it made me feel unsure about myself
Right. That
and how I.
that that is a big part of vitiligo. That stage where first it doesn't hurt. I'm okay. I'm all right. And when it starts to
Yeah.
spread, you start feeling that um insecurities, steeps in, and it's like, hey, I'm here. I know you don't quite look like everybody else. People are staring, they are
Hmm.
whispering. Then you start to wonder, like, what next? What's the next
Hmm.
phase of it? Um, and there are some people in our community that can hide it because with vitiligo, it's different for each person. Um, yes, it's on my hands. I can't hide my hands, but anywhere else I can hide. Now, like I said, I have um, vitiligo creeping up my neck, but also have
Hmm.
hyperpigmentation as well. So um, it at this stage in my life, it is what it is.
Right.
But there's also, as a stage, because we go through many stages.
Hmm.
So did you go back to the dermatologist to get treatment, and what did they say after that?
So I did, and they put me under the blue light because I did have small spots in other places where they're not there anymore. Now I have it like, this and
Right,
up my arm, is where it's starting to come some more. But the medicine that they gave me said that it thinned, the side effects was thinning of the skin,
mm,
and I just didn't want to experience that, or what that, with skin breakages in the
right,
hospital and seeing patients like that. I just didn't want, so I don't put any medicine on my skin.
okay. And, and that's, I'm not gonna say it's interesting because I don't take any medication. I did in the beginning. I was given a cream, and it it was like putting on lotion. I mean, really,
Hmm.
that's all it was to me. But at the time, I didn't know that whatever cream they had back like in the late 90s or early 90s, it wasn't designed to help anywhere else but on the face. But I was
Oh,
given the prescription for the cream to put on my hands. And it's like, that's defeating the purpose. But of course, I didn't know
right,
at the time. Um,
right,
Most dermatologists would like to treat the face first because they feel like that's easier to treat. This is because of the hair follicles that the treatment receives very well into the face, and you can not necessarily cure it, but bring some of the color back.
right.
Um, they do have Opsilura that was created by, or got it FDA approved by Insight. That is probably the best thing on the market. Some
Hmm.
insurances cover it, some don't. But what I've learned also is we go, oh, it's working, but you're only supposed to use it in small spots. And I
Oh.
say for a person that, if you are in need of treatment, because some people do want it and they do need it, um, just be mindful of how much you're using at a time. Because, like you said, it could thin out your skin. That
Hmm.
could possibly lead to some other health issues. You
Right.
know,
It's always side effects.
absolutely, absolutely. And then for people 50 plus, and I fall into that category, then we have other health effects, health issues we may need to be careful about.
Hmm.
Um, so when you went to your dermatologist, did you have a positive experience?
I did. She seemed to be well aware as what's going on with me. I went to the same lady who gave me the cream because I was like, oh, I
Okay,
just need some more of that cream and I'll be fine. But she said, no, this is vitiligo and it's autoimmune. And on top of having vitiligo, I also got diagnosed with psoriasis.
right.
So, so I have a lot of, seems like a lot of autoimmune issues.
Yes, you're not the only one. And I often say a lot of us live with multiple conditions. I have severe allergies, I have asthma, and then
Yeah.
it's the vitiligo on top of that. I'm like, like what else? What else could
Yeah.
happen?
It's the same. I was born with asthma and psoriasis, and You said something and I was like, me too. Oh, allergies.
Allergies, yes.
Hmm.
And that's the thing, vitiligo, it's multifaceted. It is on the surface, but it's whatever's inside of your body and is forcing it to fight against the melanocytes. But
Hmm.
it doesn't hurt you. That's one of the things I have to explain to my students. It doesn't hurt. It makes me look different. No matter where I go, I'm always going to look different from other people.
Right.
Um, but it's how I live my life, you know.
Right.
Um, and I think that's the biggest thing. So with going through your journey, let me say this real quick as I'm thinking about it. You mentioned having a positive experience going to the dermatologist. Some of us here in North Carolina went to a dermatologist and did not have a positive experience.
Oh no.
Um, and several of us went to the same person. So when,
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty much the same. And what we have to remember is that some dermatologists know about vitiligo, but some study it. So somebody who's very
Right.
knowledgeable knows how to help you. Somebody else is just guessing of what they can do for you.
Right.
And unfortunately, yeah, we had the same experience, and it was very, ooh, yeah, it was just it was a little depressing because it was just kind of like, okay, this is what you have, this is what you got. Here's a pamphlet, here's a prescription, goodbye.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
And the takeaway from that was that it may not go away. So that was the
Right,
only thing
right,
that was just like, ugh. But overall, no, she was very knowledgeable. I'm not even sure if she's in practice anymore because she was an older lady when I
okay,
went. But it was very, positive, and she's a all girls kind of woman. So she's like,
right,
embrace it. She said it will be
right,
hard, but she wasn't from this country, so I don't
okay,
know if that mattered. I think she was Russian.
okay.
Hmm.
I do find that there are some doctors from other countries that, because sometimes they're more knowledgeable than we are about
Right.
vitiligo. And we'll get to vitiligo foundation later. GVF, the Global Vitiligo Foundation. We'll get to them a little bit later because that is an organization that they're connected to other organizations around the world.
Okay.
Let's talk about the impact. So you mentioned self-esteem, and yes, vitiligo does impact your self-esteem. It can, that's one of the biggest ways it can hurt you. And if you're struggling with your self-esteem, you're struggling
Oh
with
man.
stress and anxiety, that causes other issues. Um, what kind of support did you get from family and friends?
Um, I would say everyone was supportive in the fact that they knew that there was nothing I could do to change it. But I don't know if they were honest about, so like everyone I see in the street, oh, you're so beautiful. But I'm like, are you saying that because I have vitiligo, or do you
Right,
really think that I'm a beautiful person on the outside?
right,
So that was the thing that I kind of felt like they were just saying things to kind of make me feel good about having it. And I'm not sure if any of that was like truthful or not.
right,
And then my baby girl, when she first started seeing it, she didn't understand, obviously, but she's so smart. And I had on a hoodie that had tie dye on it. And I was pushing her in a buggy, and she goes, "Mommy, tie dye to my shirt." And I said, "Yeah, it's tie dye." She touched my face and she said, "Tie dye." And I was just like, "Ooh." It was cute that she was, comparing it to the art on my
right.
shirt. But at the same time, it's just like, oh gosh, I look like tie dye now.
Right, right. Well, I haven't heard tie dye. I always say camouflage. So one
Yeah.
of the things I started doing was wearing a lot of camouflage shorts in the summer, and I'm like, yeah, I'm camouflage. I have, a mixture
Hmm.
of colors. Kids are innocent. Let's talk
Hmm.
about that. Kids are very innocent, and they're curious, and they want to know. And sometimes they will say things that can be hurtful,
Hmm.
but they don't mean it. But
Right.
they when they see vitiligo, they want to know, they want to touch it. Does it hurt?
Hmm.
What happened to your skin? Where did your skin go? They see all these things.
Yeah.
Um, but it's the innocence of a child, but it's the adults I have
Yeah.
problems with.
Yeah. I got stories for days.
Well, share one story. We got to get one story out
So
there.
I went to Bojangles, and this guy was like, "Oh my God, you got vitiligo, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, I used to have it. Now His skin was completely
Hold on,
normal.
New Bern Avenue.
Yes. He got you too.
Okay, yes, yes. Okay,
Dark
this is
skin fella, right? Yeah.
yep. This is so crazy. Yes.
He'd be like, yeah, I use this medicine. And I'm like, okay. And he forgets that he said it to me. So every time I go there, he's like, oh, I used to have it too. I'm like,
Yep.
where, bro?
Oh gosh. Okay. So for our listeners, yes, in Raleigh, North Carolina, it's the it's the Bojangles on New Bern Avenue by Walmart.
Mhm.
I had the same experience. I walked in, same guy who's working there. He's in the back. I guess he's an assistant manager or somebody. Told me the same story. Yo, I used to vitiligo. Yeah, I used to have vitiligo too, and I used this cream and it made it go away. Like the magic cure.
Right. No.
Let me say this so anybody listening: there is no cure for vitiligo. Now, there's treatment that can help you, but
Mhm.
and some people do repigment, but there's usually some sign that there was vitiligo.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna be honest and share
I
how
don't think
my
he had
thought.
it.
I think he was BSing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he ever had it ever. I think he just wanted to spark conversation, but
Mhm.
the way he's going about it is incorrect.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And let's talk about this. We're off of my bullet points, which is great. Let's talk about treatments and false advertisement. I don't know if you're on, well, you are on Facebook and you look at Instagram and sometimes TikTok and even people that shop on like some of these online stores, they were advertised cures for vitiligo. And when I see it, and I've seen people in the community that I've met before in the ads, meaning they pull their picture from Facebook and put it in the ad. Now, yes, yes. Here's what I did. There was somebody advertising on Facebook about this cure. Vitiligo's cured, and and you never have to use anything again. I'm like, wow. I said, well, how about this? We have a conference coming up in Charlotte. I said June 2026. Why don't you come to the conference to share with all the dermatologists that study vitiligo, all the organizations that do the research, and share with them how you found this cure, and nobody else could. Crickets.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I will challenge people on that. Yes, I hope one day they will have a cure for people who want it or need it.
Hmm.
There's a Dr. Harris out of Boston. UMass Boston, he was closest to finding a cure for vitiligo. However, and his research was on, gosh, you used to be able to find it, but now with the government changes, you can't find it. At least I tried to find it; it's not there anymore. It was a government website, National Institute of Health. Well, he was close to finding a cure, but it caused some other health issues, and he said, "I can't put out, something that causes other health issues just to cure what your skin looks like."
Yeah. It's not
So
worth it.
no, it's not worth it. When we talk about cures and we talk about treatments, I know people we get desperate and we want to try any and everything. Maybe I should try aloe plant. Maybe I should put this on. Maybe I had somebody tell me, that vitiligo was a fungus, so you could use Head and Shoulders.
People are so ignorant. That's the other thing that I deal with adults.
Yes,
Have you tried this? Yes.
yes.
Cocoa butter, coconut oil,
Right.
drink some olive oil. No.
All these miracle treatments, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, how many of y'all went to school to study dermatology? None.
Not one.
It's there, the Facebook medical doctors or the social media medical professionals that know more than
Mhm.
they know more than a dermatologist that studied the stuff forever. It makes me laugh, but also there was one that kind of ticked me off a little bit. And then we're gonna get back to your journey. There was an ad that came from India that said vitiligo is white leprosy. And I responded. I did. I wrote them back, just saying, leprosy and vitiligo are two different things. One will kill you, one will not. Yeah, I said it is not white leprosy. Please do not spread that. No response, of course, but
Mhm.
it's where I think sometimes we become a target of false information, false advertisement.
Mhm.
Um, but we also have to speak up as a community and say, no, that's not right.
Right.
You know, so let's talk about this. How do you normalize your life while living with vitiligo? Because I know sometimes we could talk about our skin all day. We know what it looks like. We know what vitiligo is and what it isn't. But so,
Right.
how do you normalize your life as you're moving about?
To be honest, once I figured out what makes me feel normal as far as my outwardness is because before I would do makeup and cover the whole thing and then wipe it off and be like, this is the reality. So then I was like, well, let me get the white makeup to match my white face, and I'm wiping that off. And like I said, I've never been a makeup girl. So
Right.
now what I do is I use tinted sunscreen. One, I need the sunscreen. I wasn't using it prior.
Right.
And two, it gives me that glow that I used to have, even though, I mean, I don't know if you can see it with the, yeah,
Hmm.
because when I sit back, you can't see it. So I want your
Right.
viewers to be able to see that I do have it, but it doesn't make me so pale.
Right.
And now I'm not using, like, I don't have to use the filters anymore for pictures and things like that. But I just live my life. It doesn't bother me. When I see children staring, or if a child asks me, I'll get down to their level and explain to them what it is. And like you said, let them touch, if depending on what environment I'm in.
Right.
Um, the um, the adults or my patients that come in, they compliment me, and so at this point, it's not really bothering me so much. I guess now that it's more, even before when it was just like I felt like I had North America here, because it was
Right.
like it was brown here and then brown here, and I was like, well, there's North and South America, but all of that is gone now. And then I used to have brown spots here, but it looks like
Right.
that's gone away too. So kind of like how these spots are. So
Hmm.
yeah, I just live my life. It doesn't hurt, thank God.
Right.
It's easier to deal with than psoriasis for sure. But psoriasis burns. If you use the medicine, it burns. If you scratch, it burns. So like
Right.
that's the thing that bothers me. But my day to day, I'm just me.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I've learned a lot from students. Being a teacher, I have to interact. And I've mentioned this on the podcast before that, like, I had students saying, "What's wrong with your skin?" I said, "Nothing." I said, "If you pay attention," I said, "when I put my hands together, you might find buried treasure." I said, "It's a map." And some kids are gullible, so they're looking for treasure. Like, "Ooh, no, I don't see it." I said, "We keep looking." Um, then
That
I've had, oh gosh, I had an
was
experience.
creative.
Well, I tried. I tried my
Yeah,
best
that was
because
very
with
creative.
them, I don't want them looking at me sideways. Because guess what? We have students with vitiligo. Um,
Oh
this
wow.
year, this year we don't have any. For the past couple of years, one of my students, not last year, year before, she had vitiligo, and we had some other students. Matter of fact, one of my first presentations that I did for vitiligo awareness was for a student at Fox,
Oh
and
wow.
wow, that was a long time ago. And yeah, I just learned to embrace it. Like looking at it on the projector for the first time was a shock to me because
Hmm.
I'm pushing papers underneath the projector, and I looked up and I was like, "Oh my gosh, oh wow!" And I'm looking at it because now my everything's enhanced, and I'm looking like, "Wow, there's hair follicles. Wow, that's interesting." And the kids are like, "What are you
Hmm.
doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm admiring what my skin looks like because I've never seen it that large. I look at it, but." At this stage in my life, I'm fascinated. You know, do I still have my challenges? Yes, I do. There are days where I'm like, I wish I didn't have it. There are days I'm like, I don't even remember I have it. I'm just living my life.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, so let's go back to something you said earlier about family and friends. Yes, I don't think they often know how to approach us because they know us as a family member. Yes, they're going to say we're handsome, we're beautiful, whatever, whatever they're going to say. But I question it too, whether it's always genuine or is it just because
Hmm.
we're family you're saying it. Um, but then I had somebody, because I used to question it too, like, oh, how do I look? I look different from people. Once people know I have vitiligo, they're not going to look at me the same. All these things
Yeah.
you think about. But I had a former colleague tell me, Mark, we know you have vitiligo, but that's not what we look at. We look at who you are as a person.
Right.
And that's changed my perspective because I do think as people, we're so tied into our skin and what we look like, you know. But I think once people get past the surface, they want to know who you are as a person and how do you treat
Right.
others. And that's what matters.
Right. I just wish it wasn't in that order. Like,
Right.
you get what I'm saying? When you meet someone, it should automatically be about who you are as a person versus,
Right.
oh, what happened to you? Oh, that's what you have. Cool. But you're a
Right.
dope girl or something like that. Or you are a great designer or you did this job well, you know?
Or you get this. You know, Michael Jack, I know. You know, when you hear, I know about that too. Do you know, I know. Like they say things like it's new to us, but it's not. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I was watching The Floor. I just happened to turn it on. There's a young lady competing. I think it's The Floor. No, 99 to Beat. One of those game shows, and
Oh,
there's a young lady on
yeah.
there competing. And I'm
That's
like,
my
okay, cool.
homegirl. I think I know who you're talking about. Hold on.
It was.
She's from New York. She's like Jamaican, I think.
I
Brown
didn't see
skin
her
girl.
bio. Yes, brown skin. I happened to turn and look. I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, did I see somebody in vitiligo? Now, I do. Here's one of the things I do. We're going to talk about a few more things, and then we can wrap this up.
Okay.
How often do you, in your journey, do you see people with vitiligo?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot. Not even in my family, because I always kind of wondered where did this come from. But
Right.
you had said something about your mom, maybe, or grandma who had like little
My mom,
spots.
yep, my mom has it on her
Yeah.
legs. Yep.
So, and my great grandmother had it, both of them.
Now, it runs in my family. On my dad's side, he has a cousin with vitiligo, but they never thought anything of it. They just said, "This is." I
Yeah.
think his name was Ronnie. This is Ronnie, you know. But they noticed his skin change. My niece has vitiligo. I heard my nephew has it, but he won't talk about it at all, you know.
Yeah.
So I do think for my family it's hereditary. Will my kids get vitiligo? I have no idea. That was a question that was posed to me. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not God. I can't determine who gets what, you know.
Right.
You just
I
learn how
talked
to
to my
love them.
children about it. I think
Yeah.
Max is my only child that has white spots that
Mhm.
appear and then go away. So
Right.
they're all aware that this could happen to them. I ask them how they feel about me having it. What do they think about me and my outsiderness? And hoping to that I can inspire them that if it does happen to them, that they don't feel the way I felt because I didn't
Right.
have any support really, or knew anybody else who had it.
Support. That's the key word right there. When you find a community of people that support you, that is important. I dodged the vitiligo community for the longest. Well, for one, I didn't know there's a large community of people out there because in my daily activities, I don't see people with vitiligo. Every once in a while, I'll see somebody. I'm like, oh, that person has vitiligo. Oh, you know, I don't chase people. I'm not a vitiligo chaser. I'm not going to run them down in the store. Be like, hey, you, look, you know. I'm not knocking anybody who does that, but it happens a lot in our community. I'm not going to chase you down. But I will acknowledge you if we catch eyes and like, hey. Now, we did have a substitute teacher. Oh, she subs at Fox often that has vitiligo. And she subbed for third grade. And I went over to talk to her, meet her, and she was like, hey, look. And I was like, oh, look, you know, we just talked.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to chase her down, even if so.
Yeah.
But I'm sure somebody was going to tell me. I get messages all the time.
So that is the funniest thing because I actually learned about you and a young lady named Katrina years ago, but I was just like, I'm not, I kind of wasn't looking for the community then. But I didn't connect the two until you became Emma's teacher. And then when I was trying to find you somewhere, this girl let me screenshot her phone. So I have you and Katrina from like 4 or 5 years ago in my phone, and I never reached out. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Excuse me, my allergies.
No problem. Yeah, I have my allergies too. That's why my voice sounds raspy. But Yeah, and I knew you had vitiligo a while back. I saw you when we had a school function. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, everybody tells me, everybody that has vitiligo in the school, they run to me. Hey, we saw a parent with vitiligo. Hey, did you know such has vitiligo? Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, because I'm like, not everybody's ready to have that conversation about vitiligo,
Yeah,
you know. But
yeah,
I'm glad that you did come on board to be a part of the community. I think it's good for support to be able to talk to each other. This year is a little different. We've had a few events. We usually do a holiday event, which we're gonna do. I've got to advertise it. Oops, I'll be doing that soon. And then of course next year we have the conference in Charlotte. So, um, but I thought it was Katrina for, for about a couple of years. She would give me a card. Hey, we have a community. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
yeah. I ended up working at the church she was attending.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I met a few other people who has vitiligo there. So a younger girl and then
Hmm.
Katrina, but I still didn't my mind at the time and what was going on in my life, I just could
Yeah.
not focus on the
And
community part.
trust me, I understand. Until I was ready, until I said, okay, I need support. I need to see other people with vitiligo so I could, that way I don't have to feel like I'm by myself. Because there are
Right.
times I feel like it was just me. And then when I
Yeah.
met other people, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
where all these people come from? Like, what are y'all
But you know,
hiding?
it's interesting where I work, they are he's a research doctor, and what I find is what he's saying is it's all in what we put in our bodies and our diet that
Mm,
contribute to um, our autoimmune issues. And I find that I think back then you didn't see a lot of people with it because of how our food is being processed now. And I
right.
could be wrong, I don't know anything about it, but now with all the additives and all the different things, um, I find that that's probably why there's more of us. Either that, or we all were hiding and we're all coming out at the same time, right?
It's a combination of both because
Yeah.
we have been hiding for a while. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't want to go out in public. I will only go if necessary. And now I don't care. Like I go wherever.
Mhm.
I wear shorts. I'll show off all my spots. Whatever. I don't care at this point. In particular with men, I've learned we hide more than the ladies.
Say that
Well,
one more time.
the men will hide more than the ladies. The men will be in a
Mm,
room. I'm not going out. I'm gonna watch the game, but I'm not gonna hang out. You know.
yeah.
And we're truly trying to encourage all of us, like, live your life. Whatever it is you enjoy doing, do it. Don't let vitiligo stop you from achieving those things, that those goals, those dreams, those whatever the hobbies you have, just get out there and do it, you know? Now, you have a hobby, unique hobby, or I
Oh
don't want to
Lord.
give it away too much. You want to share a little
Yeah.
bit about it?
Sure. So I went to school for graphics and fashion, and I drew these shoes about 14 years ago. And um, I saw that my kids were artistic as well, and they design. And so I was like, hey, you guys can get this to become real. And I was like, let me show you. So I went to some old shoes I had, and we went through the process of vetting manufacturers and finding the right one and having it shipped and um, from being a concept to reality, and they got to be a part of that with me. So I am hoping to have a successful pre-sale coming up in the spring. I've been working on this for now about 3 years, and it is a little hard when it comes to high heel shoes, but I also am trying to give back to the community by teaching sewing.
Mhm.
My goal is to have a home ec camp. I know that they don't do that anymore, and I'm like a homemaker. I want to do everything from scratch if I can. I want to sew, I want to design, and that's like the core of who I am. And I don't see that out here. The reason I was going to do that once my shoes were successful, but the opportunity came for me to be able to do it now without the success of my high heel shoes. So I'm also working on the camp. My daughter helped me with the logo, and she's excited. And so we got a couple of interests to see, for the first class and see how it goes. But I'm really excited about teaching children how to sew. I learned at 7 by my great grandmother, and was designing my own doll clothes, and it like inspired this world of design for me. And that's just who I am. I'm a creative jack of all trades, master
Okay.
of all.
Good. Well, if you need some material, let me know. My mother used to sew. She stopped now because she has
Yeah,
some issues and with her hands, so she really can't sew. But there's so much material she's trying to get rid of.
I would love that.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I need to get. So I would
Okay.
love.
Okay. We'll make that happen.
Yes.
Um, before we um before we wrap things up, let's talk about the conference real quick. So, yes, for people out there listening, North Carolina will host a conference in Charlotte in 2026. At the end of June, I'll have the flyer posted into this podcast so you can see it. Um, so, if you have never had a chance to go to a conference, it's life changing. For one, you are around others with vitiligo. There's no judgment. No one's treating anybody differently because everybody understands the journey. Although our journeys are different, we all get it. The doctors are very approachable. They'll talk to you. I always talk about Dr. Rich because Dr. Rich is cool. If he listens to this, he'll know. He's actually hung out with us one time just to go get something to eat. He's like, "Don't call me Dr. Rich, just Rich." Okay, all right, cool. He's a cool doctor. Sometimes we see doctors as being above us, and a lot of them are very down to earth.
Mhm.
You'll learn about the latest treatments, the latest updates in terms of vitiligo research and vitiligo treatments. You hear from organizations like Insight and my vitiligo team. Man, my vitiligo team is like it's like Facebook, but for people only with vitiligo. So you get to connect with people there as well. I haven't been on there in about a month or so. I need to get back on there. It is just great. Like we have all these activities, and there'll be a ball, and um, it's just a fun time to connect with others, and you get to meet other people, not just locally, but from around the world. So
Right.
um, I remember meeting Park from South Korea. And the only reason why we met, I thought somebody said Mark. They said Park, and I turned around and looked at him. He's a tall guy too. I was like, "Hey, is your name Mark?" He said, "No, Park." I was like, "Hey, I'm Mark," and we just kind of connected
Yeah.
that way. It's just a fun time, and it's one of those times where you truly forget. You're not even thinking about your skin.
Hmm.
You're just meeting others, and a lot of us make lifelong connections. You get to know people from forever. They'll reach out to you, check on you, see how you're doing. So we're gonna have a great time. I can't give away any more details, but just know,
Yeah.
and registration will open up on November 17th.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, so as people are hopefully looking at this, it is the 17th, and they can register for the conference and just enjoy yourselves. That's the big thing. Have fun, enjoy yourself,
Right.
learn something, get to meet new people. Before we wrap things up, anything you want to share with the listeners and any words of encouragement?
Um. No. No. Nothing more to share. But words of encouragement. I would say just believe in yourself. Don't get too much in your head. That's what I used to do. Like, just live your life and be you and embrace who you are.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why I call the show Living Life in Love. You gotta live your life, but you gotta
Hmm.
live it with love. And that's now I know a lot of times we talk about loving other people, but you gotta love yourself too. And
Right.
that's treating yourself with grace when you're going through these challenges.
Hmm.
When you look in that mirror and go, I don't like that spot. But don't focus on the spot. Focus on who you are on the inside, as that
Right.
person. And really that's why I created this podcast. And actually give you a little bit of background. It was originally a radio podcast, and it was done through
Okay.
a different organization. I did it there with them for about 2.5 years. And then I gave it a break. A lot was happening at the time. Family and all that. So I said, I'm just going to take a break. And I did.
Right.
And I went to the conference in Indiana, and one of the doctors, and I need to get him on the podcast. He said, "Hey, I need to get on your podcast." I'm like, "Ooh, what podcast?" I left. So I started it up again, and I'm enjoying it. I enjoy talking to people, um,
Yeah.
hearing people's stories. Everybody's different. We all have a different walk in life, you know.
Right. And I love the awareness that it spreads, and I look forward to seeing more of it.
Absolutely. And one of the things we've done here, real quick, in North Carolina, we kind of changed so June is Vitiligo Awareness Month. We
Okay.
changed it officially on our proclamation to Vitiligo Awareness and Education Month because we want people to,
Okay.
yes, know about vitiligo, but also be educated about vitiligo, what it is and what it isn't. So
Right. I did see that, and that's congratulations to you guys for getting that done.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, we
Mhm.
work hard. Katrina and I work hard. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
So we'll probably go back to NBC 17 at some point soon. We just want to make sure we're connecting with people, getting information out to people, and letting others know that their support. You know,
Right.
and now we're not counselors. No, we can't counsel you. We can't give
We
you
can't
what you
treat
need.
you.
Yeah, we can support you. We can laugh with you. We could cry with you. We can give
Right.
you the information we need that we know, but then we can also share. You need more information, contact this person.
Right.
I did mention I was going to talk a little bit about the Global Vitiligo Foundation. I'm gonna get that in real quick. That is a global organization that provides support for our communities within the United States. I say all of our communities. They have something that's coming up. Gosh, I can't remember the title of it, but it's like a meeting where you can go virtual meeting and you can meet other people from other parts of the world. And
Wow.
I think it's called Unite. Yes, I need to go to one. I haven't been to one yet because my schedule hasn't allowed me to. I think it's coming up December 13th, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double
Okay.
check that information and I'll make sure I get that to you. But
Thank you.
it's like we're trying to really support the community any way we can, and not just people with vitiligo, those without as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes when I say community, I'm talking about all of us.
Everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody.
I
All
love
right.
that.
So once again, thank you for being on the podcast. And
Thanks for
anytime,
having me.
you're welcome. Anytime you need something, just reach out to myself, Katrina. We got your back. We will support you. And that is same thing for the listeners. You want to know something about vitiligo? Um, I'm knowledgeable. However, I'm not the expert. I can put you in contact with the experts to get more information. That means it could be doctors from the Global Vitiligo Foundation, could be researchers there. You know, they help you out with your vitiligo journey or knowledge base experience. So for the listeners, I always say thank you for tuning into Living Life in Love. And this is how I always end my show, and I will always end it this way. Love is so important. You look at the world, we are in need of love. The world is crying out for it. When you look on TV, you see what's happening to people. We need to start showing love to each other. Loving that stranger, your neighbor, your co-workers, loving our children, your spouses. Love the people that are in your inner circles and also those that you encounter and around you, because you don't know what people are going through. And love can look different for different people. It could be simply as saying good morning or hello. So that's how I like to end my show. And once again, before you can do any of that, you have to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you, because that's where it starts. You have been listening to Living Life in Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina, with my special guest, Jessica. Thank you for being here. Take care. You have a great day. Peace.
Bye-bye.
The magic in the air. I feel the magic, the magic in the air. I feel the magic, the magic in the air. I feel the magic, the magic in the air. I feel the magic, the magic in the air. I feel the magic, the magic in the air. I feel the magic, the magic in the air.
My skin will glow, sunbeam so bright, my patches glowing as a warm golden light. I used to hide them away, put my head in my hands, but now I know just how strong I am. Not afraid of the stairs, I'm the light in the dark. Confidence as I walk, I own every mark. There's a reason behind the purple I wear, so reminder, we've been doing this for 10 years. Uniquely spotted a masterpiece of motion, a heart full of joy and a sea of devotion. My family and friends, they shine with me too. A cheerleading squad for everything that I do. This isn't a struggle, it's a reason to sing. The triumphal spirit and the joy that it brings. So raise your hands high, let the whole world see. Vitiligo is just a part of the uniqueness of me. A stranger once said that it looks like the moon. My friend said, homeboy, you light up the room. It's the love that surrounds me, they help me to grow. They taught me acceptance, they help me to know that what makes me different is what makes me grand. A unique work of art painted by God's own hand. Can you feel it? It's the force out there. Embrace it. It's the magic in the air.
I feel the magic in the air. I feel the magic in the air. I feel the magic in the air. I feel the magic in the air. I feel the magic in the air. I feel the magic in the air. I feel the magic in the air.
We're not just celebrating today, oh no, we're looking to the future where hope starts to grow. Put a pin in the map, let the excitement unwind. There's a gathering of champions, the confident kind. We meet up in the Queen City in the Old North State, June 26, 27, 28, save the date. We're headed to Charlotte, NC in the month of June, World Vitiligo Day Conference 26. See you soon.
I feel the magic in the air. I feel the magic in the air. I feel the magic in the air. I feel the magic in the air.
I'm uniquely spotted, a masterpiece, emotional, a heart full of joy and a sea of devotion. My family and friends, they shine with me too, a cheerleading squad for everything that I do. This isn't a struggle, it's a reason to sing, the triumphant spirit and the joy that it brings. Raise your hands high, let the whole world see. Vitiligo is the part of the magic inside of me.
I feel the magic.